there are enormous beings in the world, enormous, bigger than buildings types of beings that exist all around us. They exist in higher frequencies, different dimensions. The idea of sea monsters from the past, those stories, even though we fictionalize them now, I realize after doing this work and the things that I've experienced that they were probably true, that sailors and uh, on the ships seeing leviathans and seeing krakens and giant serpents and all this, were probably actually seeing them during a time where uh, they could see them, type of thing. And they might, there's a possibility they still exist now and we just don't know it. Maybe there are certain beings who have talked to me about them being hunted and having to shift away and all of this sort of thing because humans hunt and try to destroy what they don't like and that sort of thing. And then it becomes fiction. It becomes part of our storytelling. They're even on old maps, ancient maps. There are symbols of sea monsters all over the place. And in my experience, I've done a lot of readings for different people, drawn a lot of beings, connected with them. I have started to connect with Leviathan-sized beings in those readings who are connected to people, beings that are guarding portals, and dragons are enormous in some cases. There are other types out there with the underwater world. I've seen through experience talking to the ocean, she's shown me some of the beings that are in there that, in my opinion, are those stories, are the origin of those stories of sea monsters, and talking about how they're going to return and people are going to think like, oh, there's a wave coming, but actually there's something behind the wave making it come, type of thing. That there's a being who is now more physically present because they've been sleeping. A lot of them have been either sleeping or in some cases dimensionally shifted, and because the earth is raising in vibration, the vibration is going to start matching to where they shifted to for some of them. And so we're going to see the return of a lot of bigger energies, I guess is the way to say it. And there are all kinds of things around, but one of the surprising things I never expected to physically run into an area where one of them existed. Now, not on the ocean. I was down in Flagstaff, and I was traveling around Flagstaff, and there are volcanic craters around there. Some of them you can go to, and they're like tourist sites and that. I haven't been to those yet. I drove south, and I went to a place called Mormon Lake, and I was walking around there, not really, don't know a lot about the area, just hiking, walking around the lake, how beautiful it was. There was water in it this time. It was full pretty much, and there was a lot of birds and reeds and all this, where other times that I've come, that's all been dead. It's been a very chaos, I guess, transitional lake. I don't know the word to describe it. That is not coming to mind, but it's one of those lakes that, like, it fills up in the spring and then by winter it's dried up, type of thing, and the grasses and stuff dry up with it. So I was walking around there, and I could feel, I'm like, this used to be a volcano. This used to be a volcano. Like, this lake used to be that. What's going on? And I started to see energetically that there was a creature underneath the surface of the lake, a gigantic creature. What would be the words I would use, and I believe they use this word too, is a titan, and like just huge being of chaotic energy, tentacles, and it was awake. It was talking to me and telepathically talking to me. And I'm like, what am I seeing this? Is this real kind of thing? And it's like, yeah, look it up. It's like this was a volcano, and I pull out my phone and I look it up, and here that area is a big volcanic area, and volcanic bed or that type of thing. And I'm like, holy cow, it's just really, really ancient. And so I'm talking to it, and it's talking about like it's just waiting for the time that it returns, and shows me in its mind that when it returns, it will be the energy that essentially blows that area up. Now, I don't want people to be concerned or anything. It's not going to happen for a long time, most likely. But it showed me like it's just kind of down there watching, feeling, sleeping on and off, doing whatever it's doing. It's like resting until the time that it needs to wake up and push against the surface and shift it all. And it showed me like almost like a volcano blowing, but in this case it wouldn't be a volcano because it's more of a field space. I don't know how to describe it. It's not an active volcano. It'd be more like just an explosion from under the earth blowing out, which I know is most people would describe it as that, but I don't know how to describe what they showed me, but not like a lot of lava and magma and all this other stuff, fire spewing. It was more of just like an explosion and things going everywhere. And so I talked to them and experienced that and was just like, holy cow. And they were an intense energy to experience. And I know I can go back and go there and talk to them there, that sort of thing. And it's one of those things that's very eye-opening that the beings in our fictional worlds, that especially ancient fiction, that people didn't believe, that nowadays people don't believe in, was likely truth. Now, whether they were seeing physical sea monsters and krakens, that's the question. You know, various beings have told me, if you watch the unicorn video, for example, that they were here physically at one point, dragons, and that many of them went through into other worlds, raised their vibration and shifted into other dimensions for different numbers of reasons, and others were just energetically here. So that's the real question, is what are these beings? And like the Greek Titans, I think it's Greek mythology anyway that has the Titans. Like, do those beings actually exist in some capacity? And based off that experience with that being, and some of the things like the ocean has shown me that is inside of her energy, I would say there's a high likelihood that these enormous, gigantic, titanic types of beings exist in various capacities in our fiction, in our mythology, and folklore has just shifted the truth of what they are, in a sense. So if you ever come across something like that, trust it. I can say from experience, those enormous things are out there. If you're interested in a spirit art reading, go to awakenwithwillow.com, where you can find out the different types of beings who are around you. Some people have had some Leviathan-sized creatures come through, and I'll talk about that more in future videos. And thank you just for watching. Thank you for your support. Comment, like, subscribe. Love you all.